I think the question is not so much how can Asian leaders build the markets, it's more about they must. The way the world is working right now, driven by economies, social issues, environmental issues, all these problems are coming together at once. There needs to be a solution through large-scale industry. I find that with the work that I'm doing and the people that I am consulting with, the driver has to come from the top down. The leadership in Asia is some of the best in the world. There's a lot of work being done already in clean technologies. We have to find a way to diversify what we do now. So it's not something that is extra or added on to business. It becomes part of the overall holistic system. The way we do things has to be about clean technologies. And I think the three elements of the triple bottom line, environmental, social, and economics, can be led through Asia. There's a lot of opportunities there. The problem in Japan and Fukushima was unbelievably unfortunate. I used to live in Japan. It's actually near and dear to my heart. And we have to realize that the issues around the nuclear problems comes from plants that were very old in nature. We're now moving into new nuclear technologies. Part of the issue needs to be around reduction of carbon. That's the main issue. Nuclear is potentially not the way to go. You already have Germany, yes, they're cutting back on their feed-in tariff program, but they're also cutting back on the commitment to nuclear as well. We have to realize that Germany has been leaders in solar and renewable energy for many years. That leadership is about grid parity for clean technologies. Can it compete with coal and oil? The reason why they're able to cut back their incentives, their feed-in tariff program, is because a lot of the technologies in solar have already met their grid parity targets. There are 59 countries in the world right now that have feed-in tariff programs. My country, Canada, is one in particular. We have a very proud feed-in tariff program in Ontario where we could potentially take over California as leaders in North America for solar energy. But we're already scaling back our feed-in tariff because once we have grid parity, that need to subsidize that energy source can be taken back and reapplied to new technologies. So I think what Germany is doing is the correct thing, as long as it's managed properly, as long as that money is redistributed to new technologies and more green opportunities. Once a technology has become to the level of acceptance and the technology is very strong, then you can reapply and shift to continue market growth. Green buildings are a very important element within the overall system of what we need to do for a low carbon or green economy. We have to realize that we spend 90% of our time inside a building. We're in a building right now doing this interview. We'll go home to our families and have dinner in a building. We'll get up and go to work to a building. We have to be able to use our buildings as mechanisms for communication. We should be able to go and talk to a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, any type of sector and talk about the benefit of the building that you're interacting in. Is it healthy? Is it have indoor clean air? Are the materials used coming from low carbon sources? Energy that drives the building, is that low carbon, clean technologies? Perhaps the building could even be an energy producer. These kind of messages need to permeate the entire system of what we do. And I think leaders need to understand that to support green building technologies means the entire economy benefits. Because all operations, whether you're manufacturing, educating, any kind of business, is impacted by the indoor environment that they're from. It's a very important market to make sure we pay attention to and give the resources that it deserves.